Yes, once again, I'm back to speak to you people about a few things that I am gravely concerned about. One of the main thing is Africa Come. Africa Come is the American command structure within the African continent. The Americans have got over 40 military bases in Africa. What I would like to know, because no country in Africa pose any kind of threat to the United States. So why are the Americans there? What is the purpose and reason for their military bases in these African countries? Is it to protect Africa against invaders, Islamists, the Russians, the Chinese, or even their allies, the Europeans? Why are they there? This is the question. My take on the issue is this. The Americans are not there to defend any African country. They're there to create coups and to overthrow government that does not support the American geoglobal strategic line. The other reason is the raw material are natural resources that are there in the African soil. Now, the African population is growing. They can feed and clothe themselves, and they've got raw material that are priceless. But they're going to demand a better wages or a better price, I would say, for this raw material. They will also demand that the development of these raw material into marketable commodities should be done on African soil. Now, the Europeans, which include the Americans, are not going to agree with this. So the military bases are there to threaten the Africans and also to kill them if necessary and take their raw material. So my proposal is this. Whoever you are, you're an African. Doesn't matter about so-called racial identity. So we should all demand that the Americans, the Chinese, the Russians, and the Arabs, as well as the Indians, all take their military bases and their guns and leave Africa immediately. Vacate. You're no longer needed and wanted in that warmongering capacity. You need to reconstruct your mentality and focus on constructive and meaningful industrial development and growth in Africa. If not, go your own way. This is what I would say to all outsiders who seek only to exploit and rob the African people and to destroy and cull the future African generations. Now, if you are an African, wherever you are, this should be totally untenable to you. You should fight against this vocally, protest as well as with arms. You have to defend Africa, or we will no longer be. We've got no friends. Believe you me, the fact remains, Africans are hated by all the other races, every other race. Now you ask yourself the question, what has African done to any one of these people? Be it the Chinese, the Indians, anyone, including the South Americans. Nothing. The person or the people who was robbed, raped, oppressed, murdered, and tortured, put in drugs, the Chinese, was the British and more or less the French. Yet these people admire, adore, and believe in the propaganda and rhetoric of the European and use it as a tool against the Africans. Yes, every one of these single races, the Indian, the Chinese, are the Mesoamericans. Yes, because they have listened to either the bullshit of the Germans, the Italians, the British, the French, the Belgian, the Spanish, and the Portuguese. Yes, and let's not forget the Dutch. All these robbers, enslavers, and haters, yes. We must unite the entire continent of Africa. Listen what Kwame Nkrumah has said. Listen what Garvey has said. Africa must unite. It is the only way we will be able to survive the coming onslaught as a people. The only power is to unite and keep our raw material, our gold, our diamonds, our coltan, and our people, the most important thing, as well as the land and the ecology. Let's protect Mother Earth. This is our sacred duty as a people, as the first people on this planet, as the people that give life to all the other races. Without Africans, there'd be no people. Know this. This is a fact. An undeniable fact. If Africans did not leave Africa, there'd be no Indians, no Arab, no Chinese, no Eskimo, no Inuit, no Europeans, and no South Americans. The reason why the Africans are hated by the other race is because Africans are the only people who has the power genetically to destroy the other races. But Africans does not look to that. African love. We choose to love. We do not have weapons. We do not need weapons. We need love. Love is all we need to intermingle with all the rest of races. But they are afraid of not being. But in reality, they have never been. These people, whether they like it or not, are subhumans, but we do not look down on them as any lower or inferior to us. No. That's not our view. Our view is all love, and all is one, and one is all. So this is the conscious African view. One humanity, one world, one love, one destiny. A peaceful, prosperous planet where the ecology and the economy are in harmony with the needs of all life that exists on the planet. This is how it should be. This is how it was and will be again. No matter what the negative force of people who want to have power over humanity, they choose to oppress their population and disguise their oppression in things like interest rate and price rises and inflation. But it is economic oppression on the masses of the population of this planet. We need now to totally destroy every instrument of war, destroy the military-industrial complex completely, the wicked banking system that oppress and rob the people. These are the systems that create wars, division, envy, greed, and the lust for power. So let us all unite and get Africa come out of Africa. Let's have a just UN where everyone, every country has a say and a vote on the Security Council. Thank you and good night.